how they formed mankind to be the slave to work in the mine.
Well, that's a very important point because there are a lot of people in our society that have, some could say, turned away from the true God because of what they've read about in the Old Testament. And so because there is this perception of a very angry, punishing, evil, controlling, manipulative God, it's amazing how many people believe that that potentially is the true story, or the true God, rather. And I find it very unfortunate that some people that feel that they are disenfranchised humans, I'm amazed more people don't question what they've been told.
Well, I think that that's one of the problems that many, many people have about the Bible, that there's so many contradictions in it. For instance, and we're told that God is love, that He created mankind, and that He loves all of us. Yet, we're also told that He is vengeful, He's angry, He's going to punish us, He's going to do all these things. We're told that if someone strikes us, we're to turn our other cheek, we're to love our enemies. Yet, we also find that the God of the Bible tells Joshua to go into the Promised Land and kill every man, woman, and child.
Sure, it appears that the God of the Bible is the one that introduced racism to our society. There are the chosen people and the Gentiles are the non-chosen people.
And I don't know if you have children, but I do, and I mentioned this in my book. If I told one of my children that he or she was my favorite and my chosen one, that would do nothing other than guarantee that my children would be angry at me and hostile toward each other for all of their lives.
Yeah, I could imagine that.
And I cannot believe that any loving God or any loving father of any kind would do that to his children. We're also told that God tells us that we are to be perfect just like Him, yet we're told again that He's vengeful, that He's jealous. You know, jealousy is a character flaw, in my opinion. So, am I supposed to be jealous and angry and vengeful like the God of the Bible?
You know, Jack...
The truth is that Yahweh, or God, spoken of in the Bible, is not God. That's the Anunnaki.
And, you know, what really gets me thinking, and many others, is that, well, throughout history, we have seen human societies worship deities because they appeared to be more powerful than man, therefore interpreted as gods, written in these books and coveted by the establishment to be passed down to the sheeple and the masses to worship a system that claims that they are aligned with this not so godly force. And so for those that are new to this information, we should be questioning some of these discrepancies. Absolutely.
Absolutely. There is some very interesting tablets, part of this family feud between these two half-brothers, Enki and Enlil. Some of the ancient tablets go into great detail about a meeting that they had, not only themselves, but many of the other more powerful Anunnaki were in attendance. Enki was convinced that it was fine that they created mankind to be slaves, and that they could have us do whatever kind of work they wanted done. But he was pretty adamant that mankind should not be manipulated concerning their spirituality. Enlil decided that they could control mankind much better if they not only had them work for them as slaves, but also if they deceived them into worshiping them as gods. And that's Enlil became the dominant half-brother and in control, and that's exactly what he decided to do. He decided to deceive mankind into believing that the Anunnaki were God, or Yahweh, so that we would not only work for them, but we would worship them.
Now, in your book, you talk about Enki and the potential that this is the equivalent of Lucifer in the Bible.
The person referred to as the devil, Satan, Lucifer, in the Bible, I believe without a doubt, is this half-brother Enki, because basically the Bible was either written by Enlil, or Enlil had the Bible written to say what he wanted it to say. And of course, in his mind, this half-brother of his is the devil or Satan, or the worst guy who could possibly be alive. And so, although Enki in our Bible is depicted as Satan and depicted as someone we should have nothing to do with whatsoever, that's far from the truth. He was actually the one responsible for creating mankind. He was also the one responsible for saving us at the flood. Enlil decided that mankind had become, in his own words, too noisy and boisterous, and he wanted mankind eliminated. Enki was the one who gave the information to Noah about how to build a submarine, or the Sumerian name was Ziusudra, and he saved mankind.
And what's interesting about the story of Noah is right around that time period, according to the Bible, there was massive genetic engineering experiments going on Earth, following these stories from Genesis about the gods mating with earth women in a very sexual manner. We see these different forms of life now popping up on Earth. And we are limited on time, but to segue to kind of where we are right now, it's interesting, Jack, because we're seeing this resurgence of the creation of chimeras, genetic tampering with this biological code. It's causing many people to be suspicious that there is a parallel between what happened then and potentially what we're looking at in the coming years.
I have no doubt that their genetic engineering experiment is continuing, and basically they're manipulating our genetics, dumbing us down. Their goal and their plan is to turn mankind into a biological robot who would just work for them, but have basically no emotions, no feelings, no joy, no sadness. They would, I believe, allow those robots to live long lifespans like they do, but it would be a miserable existence, in my opinion. But we see evidence all over our world today of this genetic engineering experiment that's going on. Being a doctor, I actually did obstetrics and gynecology for about 20 years, and we've always had this dispute between the creationist and the evolutionist, but I believe that if you really look at evolution, that is kind of God's way or nature's way of improving all living organisms. We talk about natural selection, survival of the fittest. Well, according to evolution, mankind should be becoming healthier, living longer, being improved. But what we see today is new diseases, new problems with our health of all sorts of things. I think I mentioned in the book things like Alzheimer's disease and all different types of cancers and things that we see, those things would never have occurred, in my opinion, if evolution had been allowed just to take place and to occur. Of course, we wouldn't be here today either, probably yet. We wouldn't have gotten this far advanced, certainly. But because the Anunnaki are manipulating our genetics and dumbing us down and planning on eliminating mankind almost from the face of this earth eventually, they've not allowed that to happen. Our pharmaceutical companies are being involved. They're putting all kind of things in our atmosphere, in our food, and our water. And I think everyone would, whether they agree with the other conclusions or not, would agree that our earth is being contaminated and manipulated in such a way that it's not healthy for mankind.
That's true. But because of all of the things that they're doing right now, as you cited, genetic engineering, genetic tampering, they're building up this global police state. We have a DNA database in the sky, apparently. All these nations are sharing genetic codes. Now, it raises the question, why the hurry? If they're all powerful, if they think they're gods and they've got us under their thumb, what are they in such a hurry for? Do you think there's something that has the extraterrestrial establishment worried about the future? And if so, does this connect in any way, do you think, with this whole 2012 thing many people are looking at right now?
As far as why they're in a hurry, I believe that one reason that they're in a little bit of a hurry is that in spite of all that's happened to mankind over the years, they've kept us constantly at war with each other, they've had us kill each other on and on and on, which is all part of this family feud, really. But by the same token, we have advanced a great deal. Our technology is such that if allowed, we're going to be in space doing some interstellar space travel before too much longer. We're very, very close in our genetic experiments, mankind's genetic experiments, into creating much, much longer lifespans for mankind. And I think that they're a little bit concerned that they don't want us to advance too much further, or else we may be able to compete with them. The other thing is, I think that they have planned certain things from thousands and thousands of years ago, and this New World Order is kind of the culmination of accumulating not only all of the gold on Earth, but all of the wealth on Earth as well. And in my opinion, the head of, or leader of the New World Order that they're going to bring back and put in charge of that is who our Bible calls Jesus. Our Bible talks about how he's going to rule with an iron rod, talks about how every nation on earth is going to have to bring their wealth and give it to him every year, and all of the horrible atrocities that he is going to impose on mankind. Well, if they're going to set that New World Order up, I believe it's going to occur before the end of this century. And I heard something just earlier this week, maybe you can confirm this, about, I haven't been able to verify it yet, but there are things on the internet about 3 large objects from space that are heading towards the Earth and that are supposed to be here about mid-December of next year, which is going to coincide very closely with December 21st, 2012. These 3 large objects, it appears at the moment, are probably 3 very, very large asteroids. And I don't know, but I've given some thought to that, whether that is not just a prelude. You know, when we created our atomic bombs and our nuclear